Hey, Eloise Ansell here. I'm an intuitive healer based in the UK. And this week on Clinic Chats, I want to talk about defences. So, we have a natural inbuilt need for safety. And part of our safety mechanism leads us to put defences up. These could be emotional defences, mental, even physical sometimes. We will sometimes with people you just feel there's a wall there and you just can't get past it, those people. Sometimes it's really obvious when people's defenses are up. They start getting angry, they start defending, they start reacting, and it's like you can just feel this wall. And other times it's more subtle and we don't notice it. Or if you're really empathetic and sensitive, you might. But quite often we've all got walls up, but we don't see them until we see them. So we can have walls to protect our heart. That's a normal, everyday one most of us can relate to in some way. And that is all about defending ourselves from the trauma and drama of maybe romantic love or just getting hurt. And we've all been hurt. That's one thing I've learned in clinic very early on, very quickly, is how everybody has pain. Every single person on the planet has had something bad or awful or been in the wrong place at the wrong time and just, experienced abuse or trauma or just, a period of long-term sickness or just, you know, you just get unlucky in where you are in the world. Or, there's always, we could talk forever about potential things, but everybody has pain. Now, that doesn't mean that everybody hasn't moved past it. I have a friend who's a trained psychologist, but we haven't spent that much time with each other. And I was talking to him about something, and I mentioned some trauma that happened to me in my childhood. Just like, and I was just joking about it, and he was like looking at me, going, "Is this like comedy and the laughing a defense mechanism?" And then he suddenly went, "Oh, you've worked on this so much that you can joke about it now." It's like it's not a defense mechanism, is it? And I'm like, no. Now I can laugh as a defense mechanism. I used to have that pointed out to me. I used to notice it a lot, and sometimes I still clock myself doing it. That can be another way we try and deflect and avoid stuff. But we can get past it. And it's awesome when we've done enough work on ourselves, or we've got enough therapy, or we've had enough um, meditation time, or whatever your practice is, in order to heal these wounds and get past it. But until we do, until we see those belief systems, or we deal with all of the kind of pain and suffering, we'll keep the defenses up because we don't want it to happen again. Now, no one wants to be hurt. No one wakes up in the morning and goes, "Oh, today I want to be abused," or "Today I want to." It just doesn't happen. But stuff happens. Challenge happens. Stuff happens, and we can either kind of come with an open heart, ready to receive the world, the good, the bad, and the ugly, knowing that there is no right and wrong, there is no good and bad, just stuff is happening. Or we'll put the defences up just in case something happens. Now, there's a kind of like the two ends of the scale, and there's more to it because you can put your defences up and then you're really defensive to the point where no one can get in and even have a conversation with you. Sometimes you can put defenses up around a certain topic or around a particular wound, like an event that's happened. And sometimes you can just be defensive all day, every day. Now, I do not see many clients come in who are defense, 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 deflect, deflect when they come into clinic, because they wouldn't even come. Sometimes I've been sent husbands, wives have sent their husbands. Sometimes they can be like really defensive. And then something happens and the walls and the barriers come down and they're like, no, okay, I get this. Let's do it. And that's always fun. But we can put our defenses up for various reasons. And I'm just kind of jumping around the topic here. This is something we could talk about for probably years. And noticing where we're defending ourselves, noticing where we're putting those walls and barriers up is the first stage in healing sometimes. Or we're looking at something or something happens and we observe ourselves, we can kind of take that step back and observe ourselves and go, okay, I'm getting really triggered by that and I'm putting my defenses up. You might find that there's just certain circumstances where if someone says something about, maybe it's your body shape, maybe it's the way you stand. I mean, like people comment on weird things. You can suddenly just like run away or get really aggro, or you'll notice your defenses sometimes, but sometimes we don't in the moment because we're caught up with the emotion of it. And it's only afterwards we sit back and go, oh, that was really interesting. Why did it, it's like we're overreacting to whatever the trigger is. So if you're getting work and you notice these defenses, put them in the room for your session. I mean, you can always book a session with me if you want, but it's so good to actually acknowledge it and go, hey, if anyone says something about my defenses are going up, I'm reacting. If every time this happens or someone goes anywhere near this topic, this happens. And it could be things that we're really defending and avoiding totally. Like if you're not in relationship and you're kind of avoiding relationship, that could be a real good defense mechanism. You're not even going anywhere near anything that might trigger. It's like, and yeah, we need to acknowledge who we are and sometimes sit with like something that you're that's triggering you or afterwards and just reflect, what is the emotion that's there, like take the story out of it and what emotion are you sat with once you kind of get past the story, and just be with that. Sometimes that can be really helpful for acknowledging and clearing and working through something. And where do you feel it in your body? Like if it's fear, where do you feel that fear? If it's sadness, where are you feeling it? And then just be with that emotion in that area of your body and just breathe. And just say, hey, I see you. And just be with it. That sometimes can, really help shift stuff and just allow us to be in a space where we can clear it ourselves. But if you are struggling, get some help. One of our defenses in life is to not reach out for support or not let people support us. That can be a defense mechanism as well. There's loads. So yeah. So if you're not allowing people to support you, or you're not getting support, and you're not acknowledging maybe that there's even an issue, maybe just book a session anyway and see what comes up. Because yeah, it's such a gift to be able to work with people with this. I'm so honoured that people show up and tell me some awful things sometimes, and I'm sat there going, wow, how are you? How did you manage to get through that and still be here? It's such a gift to support people on that healing journey and support people past their defenses so they can show up as them and be free of all that pain, because we're like carrying around this bag of emotional junk and we use that as a defense as well. And yeah, if you want to be free of it, book a session, do the work. And if you notice what the emotion is about, I have a series that I did just about fear, and fear is quite often the emotion that comes up under things. So if you want to check that out, I'll leave that a link to that below. That might be a helpful resource. And my free sessions, there may be something in there for some of the topics that you may be kind of getting to. There's one around protection and need for protection as well. So that could be really helpful. Those defenses are a protection after all. Cool. Anyway, thoughts, comments, pop them below. If you want to subscribe or like the video, it's free, but it helps me and helps get this conversation out to more people. So I really appreciate it if you could share this with any friends as well who might be interested, and check out the Fear series. I think that's what it was called. Can't remember. I didn't expect to talk about it, so didn't look it up. I might eventually go to all of the emotions, but we'll see. We'll see where we get to. But yeah, I will see if anything else pings and pop it below as well. Anyway, have a great day. If you've got any thoughts or comments, please share below. And, if you've been touched by something and you're protecting yourself, don't make it wrong, because, you're a human being on a human journey, and this is sometimes part of our healing journey is to actually cope. And, even though coping is a defense mechanism, but the actual act of having a defense could, be a practical thing in this moment. If you've got so much going on and you're dealing with so much, you can't clear everything at once. It has to be baby steps. So, don't make it wrong if you are protecting yourself, because 99.99999% of humans will be doing it in some capacity. So anyway, take care. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.